beginning.
So,
Hello guys, today we are going to present about hybrid cars, about how they work, who invented and how they help to UN goal. So let's begin with the hybrid cars. So what are the hybrid cars? Actually hybrid cars are very similar to regular cars, but they're a little bit different. We can define hybrid cars as like cars that work by battery or gasoline power. They work in either way. And also we can say cars that contain electric motor and petrol engine. In hybrid cars there are two engines, which is one of them electric motor and another one is the petrol engine. Is it possible to choose which one you want to use? So this is a nice thing in hybrid cars. So how hybrid cars work? So as I said, like they include electric motor and petrol engine. So in this diagram you can see the electric motor here and petrol engine here, and also they include a battery for the electric motor. And then in the screen inside of the car you can choose which one you want to use. So especially if you are driving in the city, electric motor is nice. You can see the diagram in the here. Basically they use gasoline power and electric motor.
so now it's gonna pass a video about hybrid cars.
And how they work.
A hybrid vehicle is a vehicle that can run off of one source and another source together, or it can run independently off of each one of those. Our Toyota hybrid allows the gasoline engine and the electric engine to run together with the help of a battery pack. The Prius uses a continuous variable transmission. It's a transmission that doesn't change gears because it's only one gear. It continues to go on and on and on. This digital screen here shows you exactly what the vehicle is doing at that time. See, right now it's showing you that it's solely using the battery. Now, at the time of acceleration, you'll see that the electric and the gasoline engine are using each other. As soon as you start to decelerate with the braking, it automatically uses regenerative braking to recharge the battery pack again. There's a computer that determines what's actually going on and what should be used at that time. So you'll never have to worry about the hybrid not choosing the right selection because it does whatever is best for the vehicle at that time.
So obviously the brand of this hybrid car is Toyota. So they have shown how they work and they have explained also.
So, air pollution. So, one of the main reasons for the hybrid cars is to decrease the greenhouse effect that are caused by the gases that the cars emit, like normal cars. So it's a good thing for the future. And if like more people starts using hybrid cars and less of cars can really make a big effect on the global warming. And it's also air pollution. 50 of it is caused by cars. So it's a huge thing.
Yeah, which is a lot. So therefore hybrid cars are important to prevent pollution.
You have one?
Fabio had one.
So we talk about air pollution, but how hybrid cars prevent pollution or reduce air pollution? They reduce and prevent pollution because they use 50% petrol and 50% electricity, which means they don't burn out too much petrol as much as regular cars do. And also it is possible to save fuel up to 50% in hybrid cars, so which is also important to save your money. So because they burn out less toxic gases, which are like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide and things like that. So how hybrid cars help to achieve UN goal? So our UN goal is environmental sustainability. So to maintain environmental sustainability, we should reduce greenhouse gases to help to prevent air pollution. And hybrid cars also help to have cleaner air because they don't burn out toxic gases from the exhaust. So basically, they don't pollute air too much.
So what are the disadvantages? There are some disadvantages on the hybrid cars. They're expensive because they cost lots of technology to make it, and they're still like being researched to make about them. They cannot go very fast. Huh? And you cannot go to much distance because they are very fast and the electricity in the accident, so it's like can provoke more explosions on the accident.
Yeah. For example, like in an accident, like you might get the electric shock. So, and also besides the disadvantages, there are of course there are some advantages of hybrid cars. For example, obviously they reduce pollution. They are rechargeable, which is good. They are environmentally friendly because they don't pollute air. They are also noises. When they work in the electric mode, they don't make noise as much as regular cars do because they don't use the gasoline engine, and also another advantage of hybrid cars, they reduce foreign petrol dependence. For example, in the world there are some countries that buy petrol from another countries, so hybrid cars are good for those countries because they are not going to be dependent to another countries for the petrol. So if you compare electric hybrid cars and gasoline cars, we would say like they don't pollute air too much because they don't burn out the greenhouse gases from their exhaust. However, gasoline cars,
The gasoline cars,
gasoline,
gasoline cars, they pollute. They cost like more, like the fuel. The fuel goes less and it goes like more. It has like it goes more but it costs more.
so hybrid cars get their power from the utility company, this means like companies that makes the batteries and the electric stuff.
And the gasoline goes from OPEC. It's the oil company.
Hybrid cars are able to go 100 miles in one charge, which is equal to like 180 kilometers.
And while using gasoline, it goes 300 miles.
So, and also we can say this is also another disadvantage. They take hours to recharge.
And in gasoline, it takes like a few minutes to recharge the tank.
However, I would like to add, like when you drive in the gasoline power, like they charge itself. So which is a nice thing. Like battery recharge itself.
It costs more like the gasoline.
Yeah. And also like if you use hybrid cars, you save money, like 2 cents per mile. So let's talk about who made the first hybrid car. The first hybrid car was made by Ferdinand Porsche, who was like a German car engineer. He invented the first hybrid car. This is the first hybrid car. So the first hybrid cars was invented around the 1900s by the Ferdinand Porsche. He was born in Austria, but he was a German. So he was born in 1875, a German car engineer who made a lot of contribution to hybrid cars. So we have some examples of hybrid cars, like for example we use nowadays, like for example one of the best known hybrid car companies, Toyota. This is the Toyota Prius, which is hybrid. You can see, which is nice. Another one is like Honda is also one of the best hybrid car manufacturer, Honda Civic. So why should we buy the hybrid cars? Because they help to our environment, because they reduce the pollution, and also when we before we buy the car, we choose hybrid car because we should think about our future. Because we should think about our children and the future. Don't damage air too much and save money on petrol in time. Even though they are expensive, in time you save money because like petrol prices are increasing every day. So in time you will see like you are saving money. So here are the bibliography. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. I'd like each group in the audience to think of a question to ask the presenters. I'll give you 1 minute to think of a question, and you'll ask the presenters. Okay? It could be something that struck you during the presentation, or something that you didn't quite understand. Whatever you want, just one question for that answer.
Like when you say it's so fast, like how many kilometers per hour?
Depends which car.
It's like it's less than normal. Like it's like I don't know like how much kilometers per hour go, but I know it's less.
But
It's like
it's less than the regular
it's
cars.
yes. It's like if a regular car goes like 200, it goes like I don't say 150. I don't know.
But now
However, if you drive in the gasoline power mode, like you can drive like in speed, you know. So, but in the electric motor modes, like you can go speed to it.
Another group question.
Like, how long this car will work for you?
Sorry, what?
How long this car will work for you? After you buy, you can use it for 10, 15, 5
It's
years.
like it depends on your
Yeah,
business.
depending on your driving.
Yes, on your how you take care of the car.
Yeah, if you drive 100 kilometers in day, like
It's gonna be like
Okay. Anybody else? Nikita?
Of course, there's some limits in the battery. You cannot recharge it for the rest of your life, right? You have to change it one time. At least.
it's like batteries now in cars. They sometimes change when they are like off. When you change the batteries.
So that's one of the disadvantages.
Kind of.
it's like the computer batteries, you know, like if after you use this maybe like 3 or 4 years, your battery will begin like yeah.
Another group? Pablo, Kioske?
You said the first person who invented the hybrid car was
Ferdinand
Porsche.
Porsche,
Is that the
who was the start of the Porsche company, which
Oh, yeah.
makes the luxury cars nowadays.
Why they don't make
I thought about that too. That was interesting. Ivan?
Like, I didn't understand. So that you can choose how you want to go on this car. You can go by electricity or by
Gasoline.
gasoline.
Yeah,
You
it
can
is
switch
recommended.
Yes,
between these,
it's-
or it's together. Like
It's-
you are able to
it's
choose
on
in
the
the
car.
screen, you know,
Yeah.
like
oh,
The car chooses
yeah.
like when it's like
However,
it's supposed to go.
it is recommended like if you are driving in the city, you should use the electric one.
yeah, because it's small and
Do you actually have to plug the car into the wall to get electricity, or do you just
no,
charge it through
just
gasoline?
a USB, not
If you
a
press
What?
brake,
While driving,
Yeah, mister.
like,
You
because
know
No,
of
it's
the-
in the-
Let's let them answer, okay?
while driving, Mr. Like, it's recharging itself.
Through the braking.
It's like the regular cars, you know. If
Yeah.
you have cars like the battery is being charged, you know.
Right.
while
Through
driving.
the alternator.
Yeah, alternative.
Okay. Interesting. Anyone have a hybrid car in their family?
Fabio had one.
Fabio has one, yeah. They're quite popular in the cities. I don't know about it in the mountains, but you see them more. Even luxury cars have hybrid models now. They're a little bit more expensive, but you save gas.
You know Fisker?
Who?
Fisker?
No.
They make like hybrid luxury cars that are much better than petrol.
Okay. Yeah. Good way to be environmental. Part of the school's mission is to be compassionate, innovative, doing new things, and responsible, taking care of our environments and our future. Hybrid cars are a good thing to buy. Encourage your parents to buy them. Don't know if they're affordable for poorer countries yet, but maybe in the near future. Any other questions about hybrids? They've actually been criticized recently, especially in the cities, because they're so quiet. Some people don't hear them, so they step out onto the road. There's been a few accidents with people getting killed by hybrid cars. So they're thinking, should they make the hybrids a little bit noisier so people can actually hear them coming, especially when they're on electric mode. So, okay, thanks guys. Next group, who wants to go? You guys? Thank you, Tim. Say hi. Okay, so let's continue to take notes. Again, guys, I really need to ask you to close your laptops, okay? Just put them away. And if you need them for your presentation, that's fine, but otherwise, we don't really need to use them yet. Okay, so let's continue to take notes. Think about a question that you can ask at the end. I'll ask each group to ask one question, okay? And remember, your quiz questions, you've already made them here, so this is where I'm basing your quiz on. So the more notes you have, the better. Is anybody doing solar panels in this class? No.
Please don't make you laugh like last time.
It's a good way to start.
It was a joke.
You can control it there.
So, our presentation is about combat HIV.
Takes a second.
In the whole world, 4 out of every 1,000 people are HIV positive. And the population of patients is increasing by 7,400 people a day in 2008.
So, what is HIV? It's a virus that attack people's immune system, and it's a mutation from African chimpanzee, like viruses from chimpanzee, and it's turned CD4, which is in your immune system. It's very important to help your body to defend the disease. Yeah. So it's actually turned CD4 cell into a virus factory. So the cell that should help you becomes to reduce virus.
How to be infected? So there's mostly there's 3 ways how you get infected, and the first one is STD, which caused by unprotected sexual intercourse, like having sex without a condom or unsafe or something like that. Blood transfusion by sharing needles.
And most of them is like
Some drug addicts, they inject needle one after each other and they can pass by blood. And of course, mother to child.
And okay, so what are the problems? You can see in 2008, there's 33.4 million people are living with HIV.
Estimated number of children from 0 to 17 years who have lost one of both patients due to AIDS in sub-Saharan Africa, which by 2008, which was about 14 million kids, I would say.
Okay, so what are the UN goals? First, they hope to and begin to reverse by 2015 the spread of HIV. So basically, it's like stop the infected of HIV. and achieve universal access to treatment for HIV for all who need it. So basically, it's like they support the drug, which is ARV, that we are going to talk about, to people who need it, to patients.
What is an antiviral drug, ARV? ARV is an antiviral drug that can stop people from becoming ill for many years. It costs about 4 cents per day, and you have to use it for the rest of your life.
And
It
It
just
was-
stops you from feeling ill.
It was
It
invented
doesn't
by-
cure you, it just treats.
it was invented in 1996 by a group of scientists. And there's a video to show how it works. Basically, it's just stop. You remember the process of HIV? It's a virus will turn your immune system into a virus factory, and that's what ARV does. Is they stop this process. So it's a cool accent.
In this video, you will learn about how HIV medicines called antiretroviral drugs, or ARVs, work. HIV takes over the CD4 cell, making it a factory that produces many copies of HIV. ARVs work by blocking the different steps in that process. After a person is infected by HIV, the virus flows around in the bloodstream. When the virus bumps into a CD4 cell, the virus attaches and gains entry. ARVs called entry blockers stop this first step. The virus carries instructions to the cell on how to construct new copies of the HIV virus. The message is copied into a different form so the cell can understand it better. This step is blocked by ARVs called NRTIs and NNRTIs. Most people with HIV are placed on these types of ARVs.
Yeah, and it's just show different type of ARV. And basically, what it does is just stop, make your immune system to reduce the virus.
You just tap it, I think, too. Just touch it.
You just say the word. I know, yes.
Which one? Yeah, right here on stage.
Example. The population living with HIV who are receiving antiretroviral therapy from 2008 and 2000.
Yeah, you can see the percentage is almost like double, and this is like 5 times. So, yeah, basically, United Nations actually helped them a lot, like people who need treatment.
So that they start.
And okay, so now the problem of
Donating money.
the problem of HIV, we already have the technology for treatment, but like what I say, it's called 40 cents per day for every person. So we already have a technology, but we just need money to support African people with
So
HIV.
by what kind saves lives in
No.
Africa?
Okay, so there's a company, it's called Red Products. They already donates 190 billion US dollar for the people who need HIV treatment.
And there's like more than 100
Yes.
products.
It's a product.
So we already donated.
Red
If you see
Red
like Beat
Yeah.
headphone, there's
like skateboards.
lots of
Anything.
products have red. If you buy their
Bicycles.
products, it's help the
Hats,
Anything red?
shoes. Yes,
everything.
not the red color, but the product company.
So
By 2015, we can deliver AIDS-free generation if we don't stop preventing. So any person, by 2015, any person could pass.
what this means is that remember the third way of getting infected is by mother to child, and ARV. What else ARV does is it stops. There's a lot of children are born with HIV, and what ARV does is also stop passing spread from mother to child. And our goals is by 2015, there's no children are born with HIV.
Thank you.
And,
And here's some bibliography and sources.
Let's give them a round of applause, guys. Thanks very
Let me
much,
just
guys.
log into my Google Docs.
Okay. I'd like to open it up for questions. One question from each group. I'll start with a comment rather than a question. Is that it's an interesting idea. Maybe if you guys go and we talk about being compassionate, innovative, and responsible citizens of the world. If you're going into business, one thing that businesses now recognize is called corporate social responsibility. That means that companies like Nike or the vodka company or any company says if we do something that's good for people, like in this case donating money towards research and drugs for HIV, then that not only does that help people, which is a good thing, it also makes us look good. That's corporate social responsibility, CSR. And it's a form of public relations. It's a form of advertising your company. If your company does good, then not only you're actually doing good, you're actually doing good for your company because people say, hey, you know what? That company gave money to HIV. That company gave money to cancer research. That money helped after the tsunami in Japan or something like that. So it's an idea of by helping others, you look good, and that helps your company as well. It's called corporate social responsibility. It's a good form of advertising and public relations. So think about that when you go into
The
business.
product you buy, the red product is just more expensive than the normal one.
Okay.
So
But that
money-
extra money goes towards
this extra money goes towards the
Okay, good point. Okay, questions, guys?
Brother.
7,400 people a day get infected with HIV.
In Africa or in the world?
Okay, another question. Good question, Todd. Is there a vaccine that's being developed?
Oh, yeah. It's in 2005, but that doesn't really.
Didn't really work. I know that in Kenya they identified a group of female prostitutes who, for some reason, would sleep with men without protection, and for some reason they would never get HIV, which is quite common in this particular area where they lived. And so they're trying to study the genes of these women, the DNA of these women, to see is there something that they have that's giving them a natural protection from the disease.
There's something interesting. So there were two people in a whole room, and they cure yourself, and your body just cured.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I met a guy this summer in California. I was visiting my great aunt, who's about 82 years old, and her friends took us on a boat cruise in this lake. And their son has hemophilia. It's a disease that affects some people, and what happens is your blood doesn't clot. So if you get a cut, you just keep bleeding and bleeding. And so in the 80s, they gave kids and people who had hemophilia, they give them blood transfusions to help them so their blood would clot. But they didn't know that some of the blood they were giving had HIV because it was in the early days of the disease. Well, their son had this couple that I met, this older couple. Their son, who's like my age, he had hemophilia, and they gave him a blood transfusion. The blood transfusion they found out later was HIV positive, so they tested him, but he never tested positive. And he was one of 2 cases known in the United States where he got a blood transfusion. They knew it was. They later knew that it was infected with HIV, but he never developed the disease for some reason. He was really lucky, because most people.
Maybe
There was
he's
a famous.
still a carrier.
Maybe he's a carrier. Yeah. There's a famous case of a boy who was about your age named Ryan White, and he had hemophilia, and he got this blood transfusion. He got HIV/AIDS, and then he died. And it was kind of the first like kid who in the U.S. media who was killed by AIDS. It was like 1985 or something. So kind of a sad story. Other questions?
It's okay. If you forget it, that means it's not that
That's true.
Okay.
You said like there is a drug like which is called ARV. Is it like injected or
No, it's
like
a drug.
by the tablet?
Like drop.
It could be anything.
Tablet.
Others? Good one. Good question. I went to South Africa in 2005, 2004 maybe, and I was staying in this hotel. I went to the bar at the hotel, had a beer. I was chatting with the bartender, and we kind of got friendly. And I said, "Oh, can I buy you a beer?" And he said no, and I said, "Oh, it's because you're working." And he said, "No, it's because I'm taking ARVs," which means he was HIV positive. So when you take the drugs, you're not supposed to drink alcohol. So which means, it was the first time I just like kind of someone just casually said, "Oh, I have HIV," which is a pretty serious disease. I mean, it changes your life. So. Okay, HIV a problem in your country? Is anybody? I think there's 900,000 people in the United States who have it. Brazil has a big
I
population.
have a one singer
I think only
that
countries
died of HIV, so it's very
Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
AIDS
Azusa.
is very.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
it's like
Não lembro.
more than Russia and Ukraine.
Ele put the drogas no paquete.
Okay.
by each like percentage.
Da agulha de
From drug addiction or
AIDS.
okay.
And this famous singer he got because he was taking drugs with his needle.
With the
yes
same
by
reason.
the
Yeah, in Switzerland they have a needle program. So for people who are drug addicts, you can go to a special clinic. You can turn in your old needle, they throw it away, and they give you a clean needle. So that way, it's free, paid for by the government, because the government feels like it's better to give people needles than to spread HIV, which can have other social impacts on the
In
population.
Netherlands they do that also.
but
It's the same
is
idea with
this-
drugs in general.
but it's difficult like
You're allowed to grow your own plants.
Switzerland is really small, so and the government's really rich.
Yes.
And Africa,
Yeah, it's not possible. Huh? I think with HIV in Africa, I think it's less of a drug thing and more of a sexual problem. People not using condoms and things like that. Okay, let's do one more group. Who's up? Ready? Who is it? Who's it gonna be? Oh! Let's go. Okay.
Where is it?
So, Ivan. Okay. And what's that? Okay, Ivan, can you make sure Timothy is healthy tomorrow?
Yes.
Wait, let me just open the.
Essay.
I feel like he did this last time too.
Yes. He just told me that like 20 minutes.
So what the worksheet?
So be prepared to do the presentation
Where's
by
the-
yourself, okay? But tell him he should come. He doesn't get a zero. I mean, is he in the health center?
Yes.
Okay. Is it real? Is he really sick?
I know there's so many Calamari fans.
Yeah, I know.
Daí o cara durou
I
muito,
saw
velho.
from health center today.
Jimmy?
From the start.
Okay, where you at? I recommend that one person stand on the other
So
side of the screens here.
I
Just my recommendation.
Kioske Kalmar and me are gonna talk about nuclear energy. So
You just tap the screen. It's the same.
well, nuclear energy. Producing energy is very important in nowadays in the world because there are good reasons and bad reasons. The nuclear energy nowadays takes 30.5% of the electricity in the whole world. That is like around 70 countries in the world. So this technology doesn't provide any CO2 or whatever pollution, the usual pollution that occurs in another energy. So nuclear energy. Here I can show you how nuclear energy is divided into elements and atoms. Here is a chart of the atoms, nucleus, neutrons, protons, and electrons. This picture represents the process, well, type of, yeah? So, this, in the World War II, the armies used technology to produce nuclear bombs and make the atoms into particles of uranium and also they could be of platinum. Nuclear waste. So every time, like scientists and factories of nuclear energy want to make like energy, there's always wastes, you know. So in the process of the nuclear energy, there are a lot of radioactive wastes. When like the uranium is used after is a waste. So around 80 to 24 months, all the nuclear plants need to be shut down. So the uranium can be charged. Also, they need to be storage in a place like all the wastes. So these things means like radioactive, like these things are radioactive wastes from nuclear plants. So nuclear waste storage. Here is a process of where you can put the nuclear wastes or the radioactive. So you can put in like in the water, atmosphere, sea water, under the ocean more. So yeah, there's a lot of places you can put in radioactive. Now we're gonna show you a short video about how the reactor of nuclear energy works.
In a pressurized water reactor, water is enclosed in 3 separate but interacting loops. In loop 1, water becomes intensely hot as it absorbs heat from the energy of nuclear fission. But because it is under very high pressure, the water doesn't boil and remains a liquid. Pipes from loop 1 wind through a steam generator tank that is part of a second, lower pressure water loop. Heat from loop 1 boils the water in the steam generator, and the energy from the steam powers turbines that drive electricity generators. The steam is then cooled and condensed in a heat exchange with a third water loop, which carries water from the cooling tower. The liquid water in loop 2 then returns to the steam generator where it is reheated and the cycle continues.
I'm gonna now talk about the disadvantages of the nuclear energy. This is the photo of the explosion that occurred in Ukraine, the Chernobyl. It spreads a lot of radioactive.
More wastes.
Yeah, and this is the photo of a little boy getting radioactive. And this is
happened in Japan 2 years ago in Fukushima because of the huge earthquake that happened in March. And then now the use of nuclear power. This is a photo of atomic bomb, which was used in Japan in 1945. And nuclear energy is also used for nuclear submarines. There is a nuclear reactor inside, and there is a nuclear reaction happens inside. They use the power of nuclear reaction to spin the screw and go forward. And this is the structure of nuclear. It has
Looks like a sun. Looks like sun.
yeah. There is so many layers of elements. Yeah. And as do we have any more slides? No, right?
So the conclusion.
And as a conclusion, nuclear energy has a lot of advantages and disadvantages. And for the good purpose, if you use the nuclear energy, this could be really useful and helpful for our society. But if you use the nuclear energy on wrong purpose, which is for atomic bomb or nuclear weapons, that makes a lot of problems.
Yeah, like an example, in Iran is producing a lot of nuclear energy, and yes, Iran. So the countries are like not really happy because of this, and why they other countries are unhappy? Well, the explosion of Chernobyl happened because of a lot of energy was produced in the part. So as there was a lot of energy, it exploded. So,
Guys, I would like to. I'll stop you there. Is it okay? Are you comfortable to give your sources?
The source is underneath.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to collect your notes. So can you please make sure your name's on your notes and collect them? I'll give them back to you tomorrow.
It's not by now.
It's like a piece of paper, yeah? So, Kara, what you got? It's nice to sleep on your presentation, yeah? Just rip out the piece of paper and give it to me, yeah?
Nice presentation.
Thank you guys. Big round of applause.
Follow the predator.
We'll finish up tomorrow, and I'll send you your videos. Thank you.
Am bună tempoară.
Last minute.